Just 10 days after standing in court for her DUI arraignment, Michelle Kresnik finds herself back in front of the judge. And this time, the situation is much more serious. The court had given her a clear and simple order: remain completely sober while the case moves forward. But according to test results, that order was broken. Kresnik tested positive for alcohol with a blood alcohol content of 0.08, immediately raising red flags with the court. When the judge begins questioning her, Kresnik offers an explanation that quickly catches everyone's attention. She claims the alcohol was consumed accidentally after drinking a slushie her son handed her at a barbecue. According to her story, she didn't realize the drink contained alcohol, but the judge isn't convinced. The explanation sounds unlikely, and the court begins looking deeper into what really happened. Things get even worse when the judge points out that the positive alcohol test wasn't the only problem. Kresnik also failed to follow instructions after that test. She was supposed to complete a follow-up test to confirm the results, but she didn't do it. On top of that, she completely missed another required ETG test, something the court views as a serious violation of her probation conditions. As the hearing continues, the tension in the courtroom grows. Kresnik begins pleading with the judge for mercy. She explains that she has children to take care of and says she recently started a new job. She asks the court to consider her situation and give her another chance. But the judge focuses on something else: accountability. From the judge's perspective, Kresnik isn't fully taking responsibility for what happened and instead keeps minimizing the situation. After listening to everything, the judge delivers the decision. The court orders Kresnik to serve 3 days in jail. She must report to the jail by 6 p.m. that very same day. And when she's released, she won't be going back to normal life just yet. She'll be placed on a scram alcohol monitoring tether that will track her sobriety 24 hours a day. In the end, the hearing becomes a powerful reminder of how seriously courts take probation conditions. Even a small violation, or an excuse the court doesn't believe, can quickly lead to real consequences. And for Michelle Kresnik, a simple court order that was supposed to be easy to follow ended with jail time and strict monitoring.
Over that with Ms. Kresnik, and she was aware of it, Your Honor. She had already been in communication with Community Correction. She's taking it extremely seriously, Judge. I explained her options, and she wishes to admit to the violations, and then I could say some words on her behalf in regards to what the court may do.
All right. She admits to the violations. Go ahead. What do you want to say about this? Because that's a rather high level.
It is, Judge. Fully recognize that. And as you can tell, Ms. Kresnik's taken this extremely seriously. She understands the court's concern here and the serious nature of it. What I would suggesting for the court to consider, as noted in the bond violation report, she's on a sober link. I'm asking the court to consider having her fitted with a scram tether.
I want to know what happened. She admits to the violation. I want to know why this happened.
Sure. Ms. Kresnik, you want to go ahead and address that with the judge?
Which portion?
I want to know what happened. Why did I have a positive test?
It really sounds really stupid. I was at a barbecue and my son gave me a slush and I didn't know that there was anything in it. I know now, and I couldn't tell, probably because I've been so used to just drinking things. I don't have a good excuse, Your Honor. I don't have a good one. It's a poor one, and I told Miss Wild, and I didn't. I don't have an excuse. I just don't have one. I don't have an excuse. It's completely my fault and my responsibility.
Oh, it certainly is. But I'm having a hard time believing that it was just one drink. One drink?
No. He gave me 2 slushes.
And you couldn't tell after the first one?
Sir, it's embarrassing to say that maybe I just don't even I'm sorry, sir. Pardon me?
You got to a 0.08.
I understand. And I think that it's just because at this point, after so many years of just not even tasting it anymore.
And Your Honor,
You know what? She's going to have to give me something better than that because
Well,
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Gallagher. The problem I'm having is presumably it's at least the time that she's been arraigned since the beginning of this month. She hasn't had anything to drink. But the reality is I arraigned her on April 6th. She didn't make it 10 days.
Understood.
Before we detect alcohol. And by the way, it's not like I have an 03 where somebody may have taken one drink. She's at an 08 effectively.
Fully understand that, Judge. What I was going to suggest is if the court could order that she get involved with treatment, because I've been in communication with Ms. Kirby in regards to this, that may be advantageous to her in terms of possible resolution. No promises, of course, from the prosecutor, but
before I'm going to order anything other than jail, she's got to tell me the truth about what was going on and what she was thinking, because I don't believe what she's telling me. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to pass it and give her an opportunity. I've been doing this for a little bit.
I understand.
And what she's telling me, that doesn't make any sense. So I'll pass the matter. We'll call it up at the beginning of our what's that, 2 o'clock block?
2 o'clock?
Our 2 o'clock block, so she can think about what she wants to tell me.
Of Ms. Kresnick. And Ms. Kresnick, if you could please state your name for the judge.
Sure, Michelle Kresnick. I'm having a hard time hearing. My volume's all the way up, so I keep putting the phone to my ear.
Okay.
And Judge, I did have some further discussion with her. I think she does have some additional information for the court.
Probably thought so. Ma'am, what do you want to tell me?
I did suspect there was something in there.
And you kept
I
drinking.
also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, go ahead. I'll
Oh,
let you finish.
I also wanted to tell you that after this happened back in October, November, I did go to my doctor and I asked for something to help be better. Obviously, I know that there's consequences to what I did, but I want to be better, not only just to not be in trouble, but I wanted to be better for myself and for my kids. So I did get a prescription for naltrexone to curb any cravings or anything like that. So I have been taking that since November, and I have been attending AA meetings with my girlfriend down the street. So I have been proactively trying to be better with all of those things. I have started a new job just recently, and I've never done anything like this before. And I'm really sorry.
Treasurer, tell me why I shouldn't send you to jail.
Because I am so very sorry, and I don't want to have anything to drink. I don't want to have anything. And I'm very committed to this sobriety and to being a better person. Not, like I said, not just because I'm afraid of getting in trouble, even though I am. But I proactively want to be better for myself. And it really is something that I am taking very seriously.
So
I have 2 kids that I take care of.
if that's true, why did the 16th even happen?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
If it's true, you're taking all of this seriously. Why on the 16th did this incident happen?
I wish I had a good excuse for it. I just don't. I don't want to excuse any of that behavior. I don't want to make any excuses for it. Just that it is not going to happen again. I can't make any sort of excuse. I can only just beg for some mercy.
Krishna, you know, the problem is you had a chance, right? Just so that we understand what happened here. And you correct me if any of it's wrong.
Sure.
So on the 16th, into the evening, you blow a .08. You're then supposed to retest every 15 minutes, and you didn't retest. Then even after that, I mean, at that point, quite frankly, Ms. Kresnick, this is the part that bothers me. You know you're caught. and then they ask you to come in for an ETG and you don't show.
I understand that. I understand how the optics look on it. I really do. I have never been in trouble before. I don't do these things. I can't see anybody.
What do you mean you can't see anybody?
Oh, now I can see you. Now I can see you. The screen went black.
Tell you something, ma'am. And I'm just going to try to make this as clear as I can. Everything you're saying, you are minimizing your behavior. You are not accepting any of this stuff that you've done on this. You had numerous opportunities, even before this gets to me, to kind of come clean, kind of deal with it, take the test, just accept it. When I first asked you the question about you knowing, I mean, and you went in with your attorney, presumably when you came out, you really kind of lied to me then that, yeah, okay, I drank this, but I didn't know. And so every chance you get, you just either minimize your behavior or you just say, well, I didn't do this. Now, here's the thing that I also know. You're also telling me, well, I don't do this. I don't get in trouble. This is the cold-hearted reality is this is just the first time you've been caught. You didn't just all of a sudden do something wrong and then this just happened. And so ultimately, you got to take all this seriously or not. I mean, you got your choice of what to do.
I understand.
But you also can't minimize it. You can't just say, I'm not going to do this. You didn't, think about this for a moment. You tested pot, you drank when you weren't supposed to drink. You didn't make it 10 days from the time of the arraignment, and I put you on that test. You didn't make it 10 days. So don't talk to me about any type of medication that you got back in November, because obviously you're not using it properly because you didn't make it 10 days. Then at the 10th day, when you blow, you then decide, well, I'm still going to try to cover up because I won't then follow the instructions that they gave me that I have to retest a positive blow. And so you didn't do that. So then we also then give you the opportunity, God bless the people at Community Corrections, to then try to even deal with that. So you need to come in for an ETG. And guess what you do? This person that wants to deal with this, you don't show. And so this is just a series of mistakes.
It is. It absolutely is. And I don't want to minimize any of it. And that's why I don't want to give any excuses. I don't want to minimize it. It is super serious.
You started with excuses. You started with excuses. I listened very closely to what your counsel said and what you said. Oh, my kid gave me the drink. Okay, they went there and got you to drink. And if you're going to tell me you didn't know what you were drinking, I don't believe you. You started the whole scenario that way. Problem is, your case is such that, at least as alleged, that you were almost a .20. You had an accident. And so if I just accept what you're saying, that at some point, what's going to happen is, you know what? You're going to feel that it's okay just to get into a vehicle. And at some point, you're going to take somebody out. Not happening on my watch. Yes, you are. That's what happens.
No, I understand. I understand that that's what happens.
And then what would happen is that you'd give some excuse.
No.
Just like today. Yes.
It's my fault.
Yes.
100%
just like
my fault.
today.
Pardon me?
Just like today, you would be giving some excuse.
No, I don't have any excuses.
So on the violation, you're right, you don't.
I've been practicing for a while, and this court's been on the bench for a very long time. But I think that this is someone who's obviously struggling, and one of those first steps is acknowledging that they do have an alcohol addiction issue. And I think some of the reactions that we saw from Ms. Kresnik are very common of someone in those beginning stages that kind of denying or playing off that they don't have a problem, when in actuality they do. And I think she's coming to that realization just in my conversations with her and in hearing her in court here today. I would just ask the court to take that into consideration.
Well, I'm taking it into consideration.
Okay, Judge.
I mean, she's done better maybe than some. in
Right.
that regard.
Right.
What I'm going to do, ma'am, is I'm going to order this. It's now 2:30. I'm going to order that you report to the Washtenaw County Jail by 6 p.m. today. You will serve, instead of the 5 days, I will give you some benefit, and you are to serve 3 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. Upon your release from the Washtenaw County Jail, you will then be reported over to Community Corrections. Your sober link will be switched out, and you will be placed on the Scram tether. We will be monitoring you 24/7.
Understand, sir? I just
Going
started
to
a new
give you
job on
one.
Monday.
I'm sorry.
I just started a new job on Monday. I'll lose my job.
6 p.m. today.
Understood, Judge.
This matter will adjourn over.
Please, I don't have anyone to take care of my kids. Please, Josh, please. Please.
So, who would have been taking care of your kids had you killed yourself in the accident?
A courtroom hearing that was supposed to be routine quickly turns into a serious moment when a woman named Michelle Kresnick is brought back before the judge, only 10 days after her original DUI arraignment. Just days earlier, the court had given her a very clear order: remain completely sober while the case moves forward. It was a simple condition that many defendants receive after being charged with driving under the influence. But now, only a short time later, she's standing in the same courtroom again because something went wrong. The judge begins by reviewing what happened since her last appearance. After the initial hearing, Kresnick was placed under strict conditions. One of the most important rules was that she could not consume any alcohol whatsoever. Courts take these types of orders extremely seriously because they are meant to ensure that defendants demonstrate responsibility and follow the law while their case is still pending. However, according to the monitoring report submitted to the court, Kresnick tested positive for alcohol. The test showed a blood alcohol content of 0.08, a number that immediately raised concerns. For the judge, the issue wasn't just the alcohol itself. The problem was that the violation happened so quickly after the court had already given her a warning. As the judge begins questioning her, the courtroom becomes quiet. Everyone is waiting to hear what explanations she might have for the positive result. Kresnick tells the court that she didn't intentionally drink alcohol. According to her, the situation happened accidentally during a family barbecue. She explains that her son handed her a slushy drink, and she claims she didn't realize the beverage contained alcohol. At first glance, the explanation sounds unusual. The judge listens carefully but begins asking more detailed questions. How did the drink contain alcohol? Who made it? How much of it did she drink? And most importantly, why didn't she realize what she was consuming? As the questions continue, it becomes clear that the judge isn't fully convinced by the story. From the court's perspective, defendants who are ordered to stay sober are expected to be extremely careful about what they consume. Even if the alcohol was unintentional, the responsibility still falls on the person under the court order. But the situation doesn't end there. The judge then points out that the positive alcohol result wasn't the only problem in this case. After the initial test showed alcohol in her system, the court ordered a follow-up test to confirm the results. That follow-up test was extremely important because it could determine whether the alcohol reading was legitimate or possibly an error. However, according to the records presented in court, Kresnick never completed that required follow-up test. The judge pauses and looks at the paperwork again. Missing a required test is often treated almost as seriously as failing the test itself. From the court's point of view, skipping a scheduled test raises even more suspicion because it prevents officials from verifying the situation. Then another issue is brought up. Not only did she miss the follow-up test, but she also failed to appear for a separate ETG test later on. ETG tests are commonly used in probation monitoring because they can detect alcohol consumption even after the alcohol itself has left the bloodstream. At this point, the courtroom atmosphere becomes noticeably heavier. What started as a single positive test is now turning into a pattern of violations. The judge explains that when someone is placed under court supervision, every instruction must be followed carefully. Missing tests, failing to report, or ignoring instructions sends a message that the defendant may not be taking the court's orders seriously. Kresnik begins trying to explain the situation further. She tells the judge that she wasn't trying to avoid the tests and insists that she wasn't intentionally violating the conditions. She appears nervous as she speaks, knowing that the consequences could be serious. Eventually, the conversation shifts toward her personal circumstances. Kresnik asks the court to consider her family responsibilities. She explains that she has children who depend on her and says that she recently started a new job. She tells the judge that going to jail, even for a short period, would make it extremely difficult for her to take care of her responsibilities. For a moment, it seems like she hopes the judge might show leniency. Defendants often try to demonstrate that they are working, supporting their families, and trying to improve their lives. But the judge's focus remains on accountability. The judge explains that the court gave her a chance when she first appeared for the DUI charge. The expectation was simple: follow the rules and show that you can take the situation seriously. Instead, within just 10 days, the court is dealing with a positive alcohol test, missed follow-up testing, and another missed monitoring requirement. From the judge's perspective, these actions suggest that the seriousness of the court order may not have fully registered. The judge also mentions something that often comes up during probation hearings: personal responsibility. Rather than acknowledging a mistake directly, Kresnik continued emphasizing the accidental slushy explanation. While it may or may not have been true, the judge feels that the explanation minimizes the situation rather than fully accepting responsibility for the violation. In many courtrooms, judges look closely at how defendants respond when they make mistakes. Taking responsibility, acknowledging wrongdoing, and demonstrating genuine accountability can sometimes influence the outcome of a hearing. But when a defendant appears to deflect blame or minimize the issue, it can work against them. After listening to all the arguments and reviewing the information, the judge finally prepares to make a decision. The courtroom becomes quiet again as everyone waits for the ruling. The judge explains that the court must enforce its orders consistently. If violations are ignored, it sends the wrong message, not only to the defendant, but also to others who are under similar supervision. Because of the probation violation, the judge orders Kresnik to serve 3 days in jail. The sentence is immediate. She must report to the jail by 6 p.m. that same day. But the judge adds another condition as well. Once she finishes the short jail sentence and is released, she will be placed on a Scram alcohol monitoring tether. This device will track her alcohol consumption around the clock, 24 hours a day. Scram monitors are commonly used in cases involving alcohol violations because they continuously test for alcohol through the skin. If any alcohol is detected, the system automatically reports the violation to supervising authorities. The judge explains that this level of monitoring is necessary to ensure that the court's orders are followed moving forward. For Kresnik, the reality of the situation becomes clear. What started as a single mistake, or what she described as an accident, has now resulted in jail time and strict alcohol monitoring. The hearing ends with a reminder of how seriously courts treat probation conditions. When someone is given rules to follow while their case is pending, those rules are not optional. Even a short period of non-compliance can lead to immediate consequences. And in this case, just 10 days after being warned to stay sober, Michelle Kresnik finds herself facing the very consequences the court hoped she would avoid. Sometimes the difference between freedom and jail can come down to one decision, and whether someone chooses to follow the court's orders or ignore them.